for picks, but she's not a good team fighter as long as she's not ahead. If she's ahead, she can team fight. Otherwise, she can't really. Like with E down, she can't really do much in a team fight. Kind of commonly agreed between us Bel'Veth mains. We all feel like we're weak in team fights if we're not ahead. But if we're ahead, we can roll on team fights.
Well, I think we can all agree that the champ is designed. Ironically, she's a bit of a paradox, right? She's designed to get ahead.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But she's also designed to scale. In theory. Like in theory.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a dichotomy when you kind of try and think about the champion in that respects. But I think when you're in that phase where you're like, okay, shit, I can't team fight, I'm behind, or blah blah blah, my team are anything, blah blah blah, I can't do anything because their comp has like, Goon Squad and Moo Malphite, Maokai, like you just can never do anything. You'll get CC'd and pushed out.
Yeah.
Then that's where the split push really comes in, and that's why I have to work with a lot of Bel'Veths on that area, because they just struggle to see the out, and they just go team fighting a couple times and they lose. They honestly just straight up lose, and there's no real reason to ever lose on Bel'Veth when you have a macro issue like that, right? It's just not a thing that you should have to ever worry about. So just see this here.
This is a little bit of a thing as well. I don't really want to like get to say masters and feeling like I'm a worse jungler than my opponent, right? I want to be good at jungling as a whole. It shouldn't really depend on my champion. The thing is, Bel'Veth is strong, and I like the way she's played optimally is the way I like to play the game. So she just fits me very good.
Perfect. That's exactly what we like. Then you're not the subject of my video. Because even in the video, right, there's a Talia. She starts top side. It's Leash, but 99% she started top side. The Talia doesn't ward the blue. So you're like, right now, right, I'm against the Bel'Veth. Boom. Fresh ward from Lucian. Dankeschön. Thank you so much. As a Lee Sin, you're going, bless you, sir. Because now I can save my ward and my ward hop and things like this. You as Bel'Veth, when you want to do coin flip, you just run at this shit anyway, right?
Yeah.
And that's what this Bel'Veth does in the clip. She's like against the Talia who starts here and does this and comes down. Boom, baby, boom. Like level 3. Wards the wolves. Because Talia obviously hasn't shown up yet, so Talia's coming down. Sees a gank. You're on activation.
Yeah.
Right? Now the Talia's on this, and boom. Now the Talia's screwed. Just screwed.
Yeah.
There's nothing she can do about it. Like the next 3 or 4 plays and minutes are playing out completely. And in your particular situation here, because you're against the Lee Sin and we don't really like our bottom lane matchup, and we're going leashless, this is always a tough one after level 3 once he gets W. Just because, all he has to do is shadow properly and flash properly. You'll never get anything. Oof, the combo played well on laning phase though.
Yeah, she did.
I like this. When you said it, okay, Cassiopeia is a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a bit weird. But at the same time, keeping her down is the most important thing. And you learned that this game.
Yeah.
Like once you got 2 items, you're like, shit, actually, I don't. This isn't as easy as it should be.
No, exactly.
And that's what she does. Whereas Gragas has so much CC.
Yeah, exactly.
You have the knockup. Your E, while sitting in Miasma, all you have to do is be 1 pixel out of it. Yeah. And you saw the suck against the wall. It was really, really nice. So I agree with the top lane, sort of like let's path in that direction if we don't have a jungle event that we can kind of play around. Yeah. But I think you could have maybe done it a bit more enthusiastically just because Gragas is Gragas and he is broken.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We all know this. Anyone who is a creator, anyone who's like going into that high yellow phase, top lane's a very easy 1v9 role when you get them ahead. Most people think it's weak and useless, but that's not true at all. it's really strong when you snowball it. So here, we know this. We're keeping an eye on this. We're doing this. Obviously, we're having a chat about things. Lee Sin goes and does this. So that's why I liked immediately you said, right? You said, okay, way too far back. Let's go here. I saw you looking around the map, right? Yeah. She showed immediately. They showed immediately. You're like, okay, so leashless.
Yeah.
But this is where bad Bel'Veths irritate me, because what I will actually do here is I will go leashless blue or something.
Yeah.
Because obviously I'm playing mostly Zyra, but even if I'm playing Volley, even if I'm playing Moon, I'll just go leashless blue. And I'll leave. I'll just throw these little coin flips. And bad Bel'Veths will always just end up in the situation. Like, you'll show up here, there'll be no blue.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll leave a ward, and I'm like, because now what? What do you do then, right?
Yeah.
You're here, and maybe, because I'll leave the Grump or reverse clear. I'm not going to stand Grump. That's stupid. You'll do Grump and Wolves, all right? But you've done Raptors, Grump, Wolves.
So I'm not level 3.
no buffs.
Right. Yeah, no buffs.
Are
Yeah.
you gonna cross mid lane? No. So I'm already
No.
like, thank you so much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And here you're immediately set. I could see, not set, but with your sort of camera
Yeah.
movements, you could see. I don't know where Lee Sin began,
Yeah.
so I'm not gonna do anything stupid.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my Krugs. I'm gonna do my red. I think we could have looked at this a little bit sooner, but honestly, we don't expect our our center
Yeah,
little
kinda.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
like yeah,
I kind of looked at them like, okay,
yeah,
they got level 2 first, they started pushing them away, and I thought,
yeah,
okay, they're gonna push the wave in. I didn't expect this, and this kind of happened while I was moving away. Say
yeah.
I
We
did
ignored.
red to
Didn't happen.
Krugs, that would be a free double kill, right?
Yes,
But
exactly right.
but if
Yeah.
if it isn't, then it's a long way to wolves.
And this is where I don't want to be tied down either. So if
No,
I'm thinking,
exactly.
okay, let me put myself in my Volibear sort of like ideology here, but not current Volibear tank. You just
Mhm.
tank bitch. Like
Yeah.
release Volibear when it was reworked, where you can actually kill anyone, maybe other than an Olaf level 3.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about these invades all the time.
Mhm.
I actually don't want to be on the other side of that either.
No.
And I think that's also one of those cool things about Bel'Veth. They never expect to be invaded.
No, exactly. Yeah.
In this particular case, I have no issue with you holding your totems, and I'll get into it in a second for your tracking, because that's definitely
Yeah.
something against a good jungler, you will be punished. Against a bad jungler, you just want to see what they're doing because they do random things. So there's no real downside to how you use the totems. But if you're ever against a Graves, a Lee Sin, a Shaco, a Kindred, a Nidalee for sure, like anything that you think might try and be cheeky,
Yeah.
it's also not so bad just to ward your top side, just to kind of keep an eye out if they do
Yeah.
something.
Exactly.
Because I
I
don't
do
do Raptors Red
usually
Krugs.
I do usually like if I don't go for any like aggressive play, because if I do an aggressive play, say I would go for the blue grump, then I want to ward like in the cross, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? On the blue.
Yeah.
So that I can see like when he's doing wolves and moving towards the blue grump, I can see that he's there, so I know, okay, now he's gonna be stressed out because his blue and grump is gone. And I know exactly where he is. I know exactly what to do next, right? So then I want the ward to be saved for that. And if I don't look to do anything, which in all honesty, this game I didn't plan ahead, right? I kind of just, okay, we're just gonna full sequence towards top, so my ward were kind of just on me. Otherwise, I would have like warded my blue just to make sure he hasn't stolen the blue, right? Because if he's gonna invade something, that's probably what he's gonna invade, right? Just the blue buff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If he's gonna do anything, he's gonna do this. Like, I had a Rek'Sai, replay I was looking at, and the Rek'Sai does what you expect Rek'Sai to do, right? It's like quadrant. And this Evelyn starts Raptors as you expect an Evelyn to do. Turns out the Evelyn was like, look, the way the lanes are, there's no ways that Rek'Sai can gank these lanes, which was the correct assessment. So now the Rek'Sai's forced into a full clear. So Rek'Sai goes to the Wolves, goes to the blue, and all of a sudden the Evelyn's taking it and just running away. Literally just the full camp stole the blue and ran away. Now, one can argue, is that even the best use of your time as an Evelyn? I don't think it necessarily is, because if I'm full clearing as Evelyn and the Rek'Sai's full clearing, I'm winning, right? Like, you're winning as Evelyn. But still, it just shows you that sometimes that can happen. And like this game, if that happens to you, that'd just be irritating. You're not going to lose because of it. It's just, I just try and avoid these irritating scenarios. But no one's really going to invade the ball, but that's pathing upside. Yeah. He obviously goes over here. This is for him, peace of mind. Now he thinks, all right, 99% the Bel'Veth started on Raptors. She's pathing upside. The Casio, you'll start to notice this, dips down. We didn't click, but we saw the mini map. She comes back up here, 99%. She's warded. Okay, so that gank is, unless she gets super low and we can just walk at her, that's not really a strategic gank. This ward is a little bit late, but I think it's nice that she still does it, because we don't know categorically where the Lee Sin began.
No, exactly.
Right? Yeah. And so while it doesn't give us any information, because look, even if he starts blue leashless and he goes all the way up to the side, this is gone anyway. Yeah. So it doesn't tell us anything, but
no,
I still I prefer them to I prefer them to think and place wards and not do it, you know?
The only thing I like be thankful, that ward will probably be up till the Raptors respawn if he did them first, right?
Yes.
So that's like,
it doesn't really matter when he did them. No. Yeah, it doesn't really matter when he did them. Even if you don't, like, this will happen as well. Sometimes you just won't see the jungler. They'll just, like, especially Viego, sometimes they just disappear. You won't see them. And then this will spawn at, like 440. Okay, I know he did Raptors second, which means he did red Krugs Raptors. If it spawns at 420, all right, I know he did red Raptors into potentially Krugs. If it spawns at 5 minutes, all right, I know immediately that he did blue, Gromp, Wolves, Raptors.
Yeah.
So that's a timer thing I really think you can get in your system. I don't know how much you think about the timers of camps, but the big thing for you is not going to be laners. You will be able to abuse laners all the way up to challenger, no stress, right? I've seen what you're looking at. The only thing lacking from your game in terms of like what you're viewing is tracking and just like really thinking about the enemy jungler's goals and how you can shut them down to a higher degree. Because we didn't really think about the Lee Sin in this game. We didn't track him much. We didn't talk about him. No, and I feel like that should definitely be something that we bring forth more. So, me as a full clearing preferer these days, I've gone through my phases. I look at this and I'm like, okay, immediately I'm waiting for this respawn to tell the timer. 3:55, 4 minutes, I know he started on it. Huzzah. 4 minutes 35 to 4:40, I know that he did Red Krugs Raptors. And most likely, you will get this timer sooner because he's going to show. But if he doesn't show, can you tell me his life story? Do you have that Secret Service, pipeline of information where the person has no idea how you know these things? That's what you want. You want those junglers that are going to kind of type in auto chat, wait, how did you know? This is what you want. And as a Bel'Veth main, when you have that power, there's just nothing stopping you. And I remember being Twitch rivals in 2020, playing against all those challenger junglers and so on. Like that was like really a good litmus test, right? Practicing this kind of stuff because they would just be hidden. They would just be like Metaphor would just be gaudy who would have no idea what the guy did, and you had to rely on these very subtle tells and ticks to get these leads. So from our perspective, now we've done a full clear. We're doing the Scuttle Crab. Obviously, full clear isn't Karthus or Zyra or Brand or whatever, but that's fine because honestly, as long as you're here at 3:30, it doesn't really matter too much. Because if they want to fight sooner, you'll rotate your Bel'Veth, you win. Now, here's where we definitely got a little bit wonky. Like you weren't entirely sure what to do. Because this is obviously not well positioned by the Gragas. Like he should try and set this up for your gank. Because even if it's warded, right? As long as he keeps it pushed in, you can just walk through the ward. It doesn't matter. You burn flashes.
Yeah.
But top laners. Now, this big thick wall sucks, and I don't know why they did this, honestly, because like why can I dive this one so easily? This one just feels a little bit like
it's only Kane that enjoys it.
Only Kane that enjoys it, pretty much.
And maybe Rek'Sai.
And Rek'Sai and maybe a Zac, but even a Zac with 2 points on E is just a bit tragic. So
yeah,
I guess maybe a Zac and a Rek'Sai and a Kane, the only three that can actually do something about this.
Yeah.
I don't mind kind of investing a bit of time to floating up around the long way, sitting here, trying for the dive. I think that's a very important thing to think about. The problem is because they changed the wave pacing, 13-10 last season, we have way less time for the next one coming up. So before I'd be more inclined to actually sit because you probably got like a wave, like the wave's probably starting here, so you have a lot more time to stack and to abuse. My question though is like, where is the Lee Sin exactly? So if you're gonna go to the jungle here, I think once you've done the Scuttle Crab, we know that the guy should be on the bottom side, right?
Yeah.
We know that the guy should be on the bottom, even if we haven't seen him whatsoever. But we did actually see him at 16 CS. So let's just go back because we saw him here. So if we don't see the Lee Sin, because we're speaking hypothetically, because obviously this guy was not your peak competition, so you didn't do the things that you want to learn to face. But if we don't see him, and you have this wall down, and you do the scuttle for free, and you don't see him ganking this top lane at 3:45:50, at this level, 99% he must be on the bottom side. Like he has to be, right? Like there's just no way he's top side. Now, if you are willing to check, hit the plant, have a look at the Krugs, maybe he's slow, who the hell knows? Have a look, and then you can go and set up your dive. If you don't see him at all, my concern with this at 3:45, 3:50 is that if he gets nothing here at all, and he doesn't show here, and he doesn't show here, and it's 3:50, 3:55, he must have full cleared a base. He's done an Agurin, so he's going to be coming back for the second spawn Krugs.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I don't want to wait too much for this dive if he doesn't show.
And it was a little bit like, if I'm gonna like reconsider this play here, when I feel like, in my opinion, like when I did the Krug or the Scuttle Crab there, and I see both mid and top pushed in, and that's the quadrant where I'm at. I see his Raptors warded, and they're not respawned yet. There's nothing to like really steal from me. I think the reason why I wrapped around was maybe look to like take his Krugs and Raptors on spawn. But the thing I would probably do in most my games, when I'm actually like in my just flow state, I would probably instantly recall if there's nothing to go and just go back to my bot side, clear it, and then go for one of the objectives on the map, depending on which one looks the freest. Because then I'll be like, wouldn't I be level 5 of doing that? Or am I doing the maths wrong there?
You should be level 5 in 5 minutes on full clear crab plus next 2 camps, in theory.
Yeah. because that's I think with those times where I just do a full clear and get nothing, I'm gonna be honest, with Bel'Veth it's very rare that on your first reset you have not already gotten like at least one skirmish. But those times that you don't, I usually just recall, go back to my starting camps, and keep on weak siding that lane if it's not a free gank to get after that. And sometimes I just back off here and I see maybe the bot laners are slow pushing towards my bot laners, and I'll be there as soon as they face my turret. Now this game it's not that what's happening, but if it is, then I'll ignore my camps and go for a level 4 gank there on bot lane as soon as I'm back from base with fresh items. Because that's when you are the strongest, before they probably reset.
Yeah. So what I like to propose in these situations is something extra to that, but we'll get to it in a second. We see the Lee Sin here. We press tab, and this is where you looked at it quickly.
Yeah.
We see him. You press tab. You see 16, and at this point, you weren't entirely sure what he did.
No, exactly.
Like that's what you said to me. I don't know what he's done. So on the map, obviously we can see it, but in game, it's really something quite obvious when you break it down. He shows before 3:30, so Scuttle Crab is gone, right? Like Scuttle Crab doesn't exist as an option, so he hasn't done that. He doesn't have a blue buff.
No, exactly.
Which means he's done red side plus 1 camp. And 99%, and I always use scientific language. One, I am a scientist, but two, it's just better to think this way. He probably did the wolves, right? Like a 99% he did the wolves, and he's rotated for this dive, which is what I said in game. If you remember, I said he probably just wanted to cut from the wolves to go for the dive. And here we go. That's exactly what he did. And that's just because we see 16 CS, Scuttle Crab hasn't yet spawned. He showed up. I mean, what kind of donkey does this? See, this is exactly what I just told you. When you go for this dive here in the new season after 1310, this fucking wave, whereas before 1310, this wave would not be here, and he would be able to go for this dive a lot more aggressively. It's a perfect example of why I put this in to stop these Goon Squad level 3 dives, which is always, I think, a good thing. And I played lane as well, so for me, it's like when you're in a losing lane that you just have to gracefully lose, which is part of the strategy, right? If you're countered, you just have to play it safe. Why am I getting killed level 2? Like I'm doing my job on my turret, so I should have some safety. So this is exactly why I wasn't full on committed to you doing a dive here.
No,
if he doesn't show. Because he shows, I think maybe we can think about it, so we'll look at it in a second. But once he shows here, we know, okay, 16 CS, boom. He's going to full back, 99% now extrapolate. You see him go up. What's he going to do next?
Scuttle Crab, 100%.
Right, and then after that?
Probably blue to Gromp or Gromp to blue.
Now, in theory, what do you think he should do? Gromp blue or blue Gromp?
Blue Gromp. Maybe. No, I don't know. Actually, it's because you want your base camps to spawn as close together as possible, right?
He's done wolves.
Yeah, he's done wolves. I guess, so it's Gromp then.
I'll do Gromp blue. Yeah, just because I plan now, as Lee Sin here, this is a dumb play. And I'd feel dumb for going for it. Because whenever you go for a play like this, especially in Master Elo, you begin to notice, I know it's fun and popular to flame everybody, but look, you're still among the best in the game, objectively.
Yeah.
You know, when you go for this and you get nothing, you're just smiling. Like you just invested 25, 30 secuns of your time and got nothing.
Exactly, yes. And I have done a full clear, so I have a huge, right now I'm hugely ahead and very happily,
So the only other thing he can possibly do here, and I think as a Rek'Sai or a ganking jungler that I might expect, and that's why I would be pinging the hell out of the Scuttle Crab, is that he does this and goes for the mid lane gank to try and get the Zed ahead, try and gank the Karma. And that's where your shadowing of the mid lane is very, very important. So I'm pinging this 3 times, letting her know that Lee Sin's this side. So what is a good laner going to do? Hug the top side. So you've got your support. She can easily back away as Karma, run back this way. A good laner will do that. She's already positioned in this way. I don't know if it's because she's tracking the Lee Sin or if she's just being a human being. But that's everything that's going through my mind already. So now I already know that the Lee Sin has done a full camper. He's going to be on the Scuttle Crab. I expect him to go blue Gromp. He could go mid lane as a possibility. What that tells me is that he either started Raptors into Krugs into red, or he most likely did red Krugs Raptors. So I don't know which one of those things that is just yet, but it's 3:47 on the clock. I'm a little slow with my clear my Scuttle Crab as Bel'Veth because we took a vacation to watch bottom lane. That's okay. Everyone's going to relax. You go into your jungle here, and now I just want the timers. So you could go ahead and hit the sucker to see, but I don't really need to worry about that just yet. I look at the top lane. We had a look here. Like, okay, you know, I don't think I want to dive this because it's not powerful enough, and this wave's already coming in with Sakana wave. So
and she was
the
kind of
4-minute
too
wave.
healthy as well. Was kind of what I was thinking about too. Like, sure, if she's below half HP, it's definitely attractive.
Yeah.
Um,
But for me, Counterwave at 4 minutes, Cassio with Miasma, Flash up. Lee Sin at this particular stage, yes, we expect him to be busy, and that's the big thing here. Because he showed, I know he's busy down there. I know he's not going to be coming up for his Krugs on respawn because he showed. If he hadn't showed, I am very much worried about the Lee Sin coming right out of base right now and going for this top with items. So, in the event that he doesn't show, and you don't know where he is right now, he could still be going mid lane, but that's fine. Let's assume we think he's going back to base. You have saved your warding totems. You didn't use them. That's great. Ward this, and ward this if you want, or if you really want to get the timer, ward the Krugs.
Yeah.
I do like this one because I feel like if we're intelligent, our top laner can go ahead and ward this because he got 2. So I shouldn't have to ward the Krugs. He should be aware that the enemy jungle is resetting. And good top laners are aware of this, by the way. So you just slap one here. You slap one here, right at the top edge, you know, right at the top left, so you maximize that vision field.
Yeah.
And then you can go back to base. And if he shows bottom lane now for a dive and ganks, or if he shows mid lane and there's nothing you can do, then you have timers. Maybe you can steal something. Because if you go ward this right now, and then you go ward this right now over here, it'll be 3:59, 4 minutes, and you would have seen this already come up on the clock as respawning. So the best play I think for you in this particular situation is if the enemy jungle started Raptors and everything has happened exactly the same, but the only difference is he started Raptors and not red.
Yeah.
You know you get these for free.
Yeah.
And now you can base. Extra camp for you. So
agreed,
a little bit of tracking, a little bit of extrapolation, a little bit of jungle timers, and all of a sudden you got a free Raptor camp. And let's be honest here, most junglers are actually starting Raptors anyway. Raptors, Krugs, red, you know, like a lot of junglers are doing that at the moment. Especially in Evelyn. Like Evelyn's Canes, and you've got the free camp right now because of what they just did.
Yeah.
Punished, hugely punished. And now that guy's not going to be level 5 in 5 minutes, is he?
No, exactly,
Completely stifled that. This is my favorite camp to counter jungle. I don't like invading on these first. I don't like invading, not the camp, I meant the level. I don't like invading on first rotation. I like invading on second rotation. So for example, you as Bel'Veth right now, you do this, you do exactly the same thing. You're a little slow, you go for the dive, you get the kill, you go here back to base, right?
Yeah.
I started top side. I full clear down. I did this. I looked bot lane. I see you do that. Thank you.
Yeah.
So much for your Raptors. Thank you. So much for your Krugs. And I've done this against Bel'Veth. And she comes here, she's like, oh, goes topside, level 4.
Yeah.
Now what? Like, you're screwed, right? You're completely screwed because you lost your first two camps. Even against Bel'Veths and the Kindreds and the most aggressive junglers, that camp, the level 4 camps that respawn first, you take those away, it's just backbreaking.
Yeah.
Let's see the Lee Sin. Hey, look at him go. He did the grump first. Good job, Lee Sin. I'm proud of you. See, now obviously we have the timer, so we know everything. But yeah, I definitely think the invest here was good. Just place it here, place both.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Don't waste any. Don't go back to base and hold 2. Just place. If this is up, snack it. Otherwise, go back. I don't think we hang around for this because after him showing here at 4:34, like at this point, it's a big question mark, right? Like, where is he?
Yeah.
Where is he? So he goes for the gank. Very, very delayed from his part. And I think here, like, you have the right idea to rotate a little bit, but...
Yeah, I was kind of late. I just wanted to, in case, you know? I don't know what karma can do. She's crazy sometimes.
I'm trying to, like, I know it's not always the right thing for me to kind of admit to people, but with these kinds of things, I very much have a scenarios approach, and we've spoken about this, where even if I'm something like a Bel'Veth, I'm just looking at this, and I'm like, 80% chance that you get here and get a kill. No.
Yeah. No.
So I go Krugs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And why don't I go Krugs? Because now it puts me in a position to go Krugs, Raptors, and cut in for the juice. And I know that the Lee Sin is either going to go back to base and come topside, or even better, if he stays out and goes topside, now I get these for free. Because if he wants to fight, we'll fight.
Yeah,
I have item advantage. Exactly. Yeah. And if he wants to go for this, I'll counter gank it. Now I'm in the position of power. So I'm not thinking about, look, the Lee Sin is at 41 seconds slower. Not even, that's being nice. But let's just say 41 seconds slower than what he should be.
Yeah.
As long as you just full clearing and taking these second quadrants and warding this up, you don't have to punish him right now. And this is what most Bel'Veths don't understand. Like, they'll just psychopathically go mid lane right now, just push this up and like run into his jungle. I'm like, relaxed. You don't have to punish him right now. You've already got the vision. You've got the control. Just take this. He is countering himself. All you have to do is be ahead. And that can take many forms. So I think if we just go straight to Krugs here, cut up to the Raptors, you look at this, you're like, well, good job, Karma. Maybe I could have rotated, ha ha ha. But I think 80%, we're not getting anything from this. So now you finish the Krugs, you're moving up to the Raptors.
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. And now, as we saw the ping here, we saw him go up to this. It's the spawn. Just see when in the spawn here. I think he was quite slow, actually.
Yeah.
454, Jesus. I always forget Lee Sin's a little actually slow on his first quadrant. Yeah. Like, if you do blue Gromp, the Gromp that respawns is usually around 420. With Lee Sin's, I think it's like 428, 427. Like, he is quite slow. So, it's worth noting mentally, all the timers I gave you are rule of thumb. They're really good, but there are a few cases where it's a bit slower or a bit quicker.
Yeah.
Quicker's good, though. Quicker's always good for us. Slower is bad for us.
Yeah. Because having home there and there's nothing to take.
Yeah. Now, you would see this, and if you see this, what would you be doing if you see his HP here doing this?
Oh, I'd be running to punish him straight away.
And all you have to do is place your ward there. For clear, take the scuttle, see a bottom lane, we extrapolate, we know what he's doing, take this, ward this, take it if possible. Yeah. Otherwise, go back to base, we have vision, go to the Krugs, go to the Raptors, watch this, where's he going? Yeah, looks like he's moving. What is it doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? This is a good gank. Yeah, nah. It's a good gank. Yeah. It's like, well, while I'm here, I might as well have a milkshake. I don't plan on having McDonald's tonight, but, I'm here, I might as well have something. It's not really like the first choice, right? But you need to eat and you're here. So we'll go ahead and make an order. Versus us actually just specifically laser cut tracking, laser cut extrapolation, laser cut vision. And in the games you don't have any of these coin flip invades, this first 5 to 6 minutes is where I really am hyper detailed on everything all the time. And it's what allows the challenger junglers to really thrive because they are as well. Now, a lot of them, it's a bit subconscious. They're not fully aware of what they're doing. That's why people like me exist, fortunately. Thanks, guys. So once you explain it, they're like, oh, actually, yeah. Well, I didn't really think about it because for me, it's obvious. I'm like, well, for the rest of humanity, it's not. So if you can laser cut this stuff here and cut in, I think you've got a lot of you're just in a better position because the Lee Sin now does these Raptors as well, right?
Yeah.
Like we know it does these Raptors. So let's just go back a little bit here. He shows up. Here with 28. See, this is what we want to do now. Shows up, we press tab, we see 28. You didn't, but we do. While we're doing Krugs, okay, 28, cool. Now we watch him. He does this. He accidentally gets minions. A lot of minions there.
Yeah.
So he got an extra 5 minions. All right, cool. We see him do this. So we'd see him have 37. All right, I know he has 37. I'm cutting up to do the grubs. You want to fight me, Lee Sin? Let's go. Because Karma is TP. Your Z TP'd and he went down for some particular reason.
Yeah.
But you could easily force this a little bit if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Because he takes so long, and you kind of, I think we all know he took Raptors because he queued over the wall. Does he stay out for Krugs and go back to base?
No.
Probably. Based upon the timing, no, right?
No, yeah.
Based upon the timing, no. Like, okay, he's not doing the Krugs.
No, he should have already been on them
exactly
before the ward faded, yeah.
Exactly. So he's gone back to base. Now the question is, because he did a regular 4 camper into the bottom lane gank, all our regular timers are true. 420, 440 approximately, and 5 minutes approximately. So we look at 520, we know that his wolves have respawned, but because we know he did a 4 camper into the bottom lane dive, falling back into this situation, we know he has no grump.
Yeah.
And for some reason, there's a D1 Lee Sin here who thinks he can get Master Tier while going back to base on the first rotation and having a split map. Dragon and Wolves or Krugs and Grubs. That is horrific jungling.
Yeah.
No one that jungles like this is getting Master Tier unless it's through a very lucky streak.
Yeah.
This is always what you want to avoid. But if you are playing as a Master Jungler and you see this, this should just be like, oh, well, free win for me.
Yeah.
Like, really, that should be your level of confidence against this kind of stuff. Because now he's like, well, do I go here? Do I go here?
Yeah.
Is Bel'Veth going for the grubs? Is Bel'Veth farming? Is Bel'Veth staying here for and he doesn't know.
No.
And
exactly.
I think Bel'Veth's mains don't realize this, that you don't always have to spread your wings and show your weird insides. Sometimes you can be hidden. Yeah. We don't need to always see you flapping around. They have this Bel'Veth mains have this very big thing where everyone needs to see what they're doing all the time, rushing at people's faces. Like, Sometimes you can just relax. You not being seen is almost like Batman sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, I'm robbing a bank. I'm in Gotham. Like, is Batman coming? I don't know. Even if you're
Yeah.
not there, it doesn't matter. If I think you're there, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And Bel'Veth has that threat. So I don't think people run into that. I don't think they use that Bel'Veth sort of threat level enough. But also, by the way, this was pinged out wooded, so
yeah.
We walk through that, which means we know we're seen. And
yeah.
he still lost his flash despite seeing you, which is hilarious. And now obviously we go for mega coin flip fights, basically. Which, you know, for champions that are normal, we don't like. For champions that are Bel'Veth, we do like.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm just hovering, we're just waiting for someone to drop a little bit low and they're dead, for sure.
Yeah. Like all those, we don't need to results based it, but if you see a fight, you can rotate to it with 80% probability of getting kills, and you can mechanically kill everybody. Hell yeah, we do that, you know, and you did that very well. Like, you know, you've spoken to your Bel'Veth mains and your Graves mains. They love this shit, you know. I don't. Yeah. That's a different perspective. I prefer laser cut tracking and power thing, because I think you should just be killing this bitch before she's level 6, right?
Yeah.
Grubs, kill Cassio. Now Lee Sin shows bottom lane. Thanks for your red and Krugs. Cassio comes back, kill her again. Top lane's 1. Full back to this quadrant, go back to base. You lost a dragon? Don't really care. Straight to bottom lane, kill him. He's got nothing up here, so he comes down, run in his face, and kill him 14 times this side.
Yeah.
So I'm okay setting up like a 7, 8, 9, 10 minute invade where I just kill the jungle 3 times.
Yeah.
But a lot of players are not. But I think that's way more lethal.
Yeah,
because you get the combination of farm, lavender stack, CSPM, gold per minute, and you kill them. Obviously, he couldn't help himself.
No, Lee just had to. He had the urge.
He had hormonal needs.
Exactly.
Hormonal needs. Yeah, no, and that was really good. Like, obviously, I don't think we need to be here. I don't think we want to be here.
No.
But no one's complaining when you're Bel'Veth that you're in these situations. And for sure, you definitely want to move to these situations as Bel'Veth to snowball. That is, we know that. Yeah. But in these quieter games, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully this provides a little bit of like what you can think about and how you can right. I can't invade him. I can't counter jungle him because he's slow. I can't like kill his second quadrant because he's not even, I don't know what he's doing. What can I do then to get a lead, to get tempo, so that eventually when we do meet, I'm fisting him, and this is how I would do it.
I've had I think it's gotten a little bit better now, because now my priorities are a bit better. But I had some games where I really had struggles with, like, say I weak side bot lane, right?
Yeah.
And I have one of these slow games, so it leads to like a full clear, nothing's really happening, nothing can be forced. He's shoving top, or he's dead or backed or whatever, like there's no opportunity for anything really.
Yeah.
So I back off, I do it again, I go back to my bot side, I clear it towards top lane. He keeps on not realizing I'm weak side in bot for his sake, you know? Like I'm pinging, I'm on my way, like I'm just gonna clear this camp here and I'm on my way. It looks perfect with the lane, and he does something stupid, either dies or he for some reason pushes a wave that is pushing towards him realistically. Like I had a Joan, for example, who did this. He just perma pushed all the time, even though I was pathing towards him, because my bot lane was like there was no chance in hell I'd ever do a successful gank percentage wise. Like sure I could flip it, but I don't wanna like path towards a flip, if that makes sense. But the top lane was a really easy lane to get like some catches on if he just allows them to push a little bit. But he just perma pushed all the time, even though I pinged, and that confused me. And that's where like these fundamentals that you're talking about would be very helpful, because then I'd be just looking for leads for other things, right? As soon as the enemy jungler goes for a bot lane gank, for example, I just set him behind with camps, with objectives, with other stuff, and I was kind of just confused. The bot lane gets frustrated, they want me to help them. I'm on the wrong side of the map, I get stressed out, the game just falls apart. Maybe I'm not the one inting, but I'm also not the one doing anything, you know?
Yeah. I think, you know, in these cases, well, firstly, you should never expect a Yone to be a thinking person at all. They don't do that.
The hard way. No,
yeah, you learn the hard way. You trusted a Yone to know lane states and not just coin flip his entire life. Well, I mean, I don't get. I guess you don't really get to speak, but yeah, I mean, a little bit. So, I think yes, the fundamentals here, when it's applied, can be applied to absolutely anything, because the deconstruction. When an enemy jungler shows, if you can immediately press tab, look CS, take the vision you have on the map, and deconstruct what he's done, where he's going next, what are his tendencies already, what's there left? There's no surprise. It's just you know if you win or not. And good junglers don't give you this information. Good junglers make you guess.
Yeah.
Good junglers are doing what you're doing, and that's when the fun begins. You know, like that's when you have really good games.
Yeah.
They suck to lose, but they're fun to win. So now, like the thing is, Lee Sin died. Okay, we know blue buff is already gone, and so now at this particular stage, if we're tracking his CS properly, which in theory we should be, we'd notice that he has still 37 CS.
Yeah.
Right. So he didn't get his blue. He 33 CS mid lane, did his Raptors, went back to base, came down to the bottom side, died.
Yeah.
Came down to the bottom side, died again. Nice silver gaming. Yeah. Now, you know categorically his red's available, his maybe you didn't notice the blue thing, and let's just say we think both sides are available. Dragon's available, Grub's available. Where do we think he's most likely going to go? At this point, again, like it's a bit of a coin flip. And this is why you do tracking with low elo plays. Like, but we never know. I'm like, we can only go one of two sides. So play it through in your mind. Like you're walking from base, and your goal here is to gank top lane before he might show up. If he's top side, you want to make sure that you get in this fight, you gank this first, and then you can reward yourself with Scuttle, Grubs, and a blue side. Yay! Yeah. If he shows bottom side and you thought he's going to show top side, well, guess what? Free gank.
Yeah, exactly.
And now, free red side. I can outside in rule this. If I do this and he shows, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh no, I lost my red. I don't really care. Right? Because you can always repeat gank this as well.
Yeah.
And that's the question mark here. We don't know where he's going to go. He goes to his Raptors. We don't know this, but he is compromised. He's compromised completely. So I love this. Out of base, look at the fight. Lulu understands this as well. W, move out of the miasma, hit the E, max range, lol. Push this wave out, beautiful. Now we know Lee Sin could be somewhere. Zed could be somewhere as well. This is the coin flip in my brain a little bit. Was you're busy fighting and Zed does this. But if we're watching the kill cam here, we would see him dip down a little bit. But when you're pushing waves and fighting, I mean, that's very subtle. But I am slightly concerned about the Zed. So I think for me, the focus here is first, let me do the Scuttle Crab rather than wait for a little bit of fight potentially. And unfortunately, Karma's already here. But and Zed has an ult because we saw him use the bottom lane, so that's a saving grace here. But I think I'm a little bit more cautious than I need to be. I'll be perfectly honest with you. Yeah. I get a little bit too safe in these situations just because of the champions I play. But I still think it's good to think about. Like maybe Zed and Lee Sin could be here. I don't know. Unlikely, and we do win 3v2, but I 99% do the Scuttle Crab first because I look at your experience bar, and you know that you're probably going to need it for the level 6.
Yeah, exactly.
So I would start that up. Yeah, I would start that up, the Scuttle Crab first. Also, just so you can see, right? Each grub is 2 CS. I don't see anyone else speaking about this, but 41, you're going to take 1. Yeah. Knocks you to 43. Yeah. So you can always just track a jungler that way. Because a lot of times if a jungler does a full sequence, right, it's 28 CS. They do shenanigans. They do another one that's 44 CS. Let's say they go ahead and do the grubs. And they show top lane, and you're like, oh man, he's got 50 CS. What did he do? Full clear, second rotation, and all grubs. And it's important to know because if you want to track if he did your blue side, I've seen people have this situation in high elo where someone's really passive, but they get all the grubs, and they show top lane, and but the jungler goes bottom side again. I'm like, why are you going bottom side? He's like, well, they took my top side because he had 50 CS. Like, no, that's the grubs, man. Your blue side's all up, and he thought his blue side was gone because they got 50 instead of 44. I'm like, no, it's just he didn't. It's not weird. He just did the grubs because he had no blue and things like this. So just something to add into the knowledge base. I don't know when it's always very practical, but it's a good thing to kind of think about.
Yeah,
he literally went red side and based again, and they tell us, but in Master Tier and Diamond, you don't get random stuff. I mean, what is this?
Yeah, no.
What is this?
The thing is, I've told a lot of people that ask me like, what's the difference? And it's like, well, sometimes you're up against really good players, and sometimes you think you're back in bronze. It's people are sometimes our people are like mental here. I don't even know like if they like. It feels weird. Like if you buy a diamond account, you're diamond 4, right? You're not diamond 1. So I don't know. Some people are just like, it feels like, how the hell did you get here, man? And this Lee Sin is a prime example. I don't know. I felt like he didn't even have the Lee Sin mechanics down. Like when you fought it, just kicked you away and ran.
Well, that's I mean, that's all he really can do against like the one champion actually that is good against Bel'Veth when he's behind his Lee Sin, just because he can kick you.
Kick you away.
I think it's the one champion you probably don't want to face when he's maybe fed or like he's got a win condition.
Oh yeah,
you can kill the smolder, right? Lee Sin, nope.
Yeah.
It's probably the one matchup you don't like.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would honestly say, in this case, people don't seem to understand that what you're doing is dismantling his mistakes. And what I've hopefully shown you is how to dismantle it even more, like significant. Like you can really just make this guy hate his life.
Yeah.
And that's really what you want to try and achieve.
Yeah.
But if you put this guy against an Emerald jungler, he wins.
Yeah.
Right? He wins because the laners don't survive this gank. They die to it. The mid lane doesn't survive the gank.
Yeah,
he doesn't total kill. He just gets free kills. Then he takes his whole quadrant, gives you the grubs, goes back to base, ganks bottom lane again, takes a dragon, invades a red, ganks mid lane again, does the blue side, ganks bottom lane again. He looks like a god in Emerald.
Yeah.
And the only reason he can do any of that is because the enemy jungler is also Emerald. It doesn't do any of the things that you're doing. So I think it's also very important to keep that relevance together. And here now, we spoke about it a little bit. You said, should I go back here because the wave is? Yes. You've currently got numbers advantage. You don't know where the hell Lee Sin is. She wards this, so he must have done topside at some point. So I can assume logically that he hasn't shown up for the gank. Yeah, hasn't shown up for the top lane. Gank hasn't shown up for the grabs, hasn't shown up for anything. He must be bottom side. Logically, I would just assume.
Yeah.
If he shows up here, and this is when the silver people think they're big smart, but what if he shows top lane? Then I kill him?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no. Yeah, I wasn't afraid of Lee Sin here. I was afraid of wasting time, I think.
Well, at this point, when you're in this situation and you've done grubs and there's been zero contest, and you've ganked top lane, there's been zero contest, and you got the scuttle grab and there's been zero contest, the guy's given it to you.
Yeah.
Now, we think Lee Sin's being bad. He is being bad, but he's also at least done a smart thing, which is, I'm not fighting this, I'm giving it to you.
Yeah.
And because I've given it to you, maybe I can do something bottom lane. Maybe I can invade your red side. Maybe I can do the dragon, right? Like maybe I can do one of these things. Yeah. So from his perspective, this is not the worst play possible.
No.
Right? From your perspective, it's like you got the Gragas with fresh base, right? Juicy. Yeah. Let's go repeat gank it. And now what can we do? Because Lee Sin's going to take the dragon 100% when you do this. We can push some plates. I feel like here maybe we can do some plates.
Yeah.
Because she's no TP, no flash. I don't want to take the turret though. That's a big thing. So I'm taking one plate and I'm bouncing because I don't want to elevate the game state. I talk about this a lot for master players because they think, oh, I'm going to snowball. All right, play it through. You take the turret, you push all the way in, you go back to base. Gragas now has no idea what to do. Cassier freezes. Goon squad top lane kills Gragas 14 times. I don't really want to move around the map just yet. We're winning laning phase so hard. Let's keep laning phase. Like why end it?
You don't want to get that turret before like the plates. Like it's like but what's that? You don't want to take it before 12 minutes usually.
Yeah, 14 minutes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Before 12. Yeah. But like obviously 12, you want to maximize it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you're here, this is
as
dead.
Close to as because if you get it before the plates drop, it's obviously a shitload of gold. But you don't. You would want to like optimally, you would want the turret to drop like 13.59 in that case. Yeah. Like, optimally. But usually you just like if you're hard stomping top and you're like always pushing it into turret, then you look to not at least destroy the turret before 12 minutes. I've been like playing top lane a bit as well, and I learned a couple of just fundamentals in there.
Yeah. You know what you like and what you don't like. I don't want the turret to be gone when I'm winning. Like I want to kill them a few times. I want to have a bit of pressure. I want to relax a bit.
I want to have them forced far up, right? Yeah. I don't want them to be close to their base.
Exactly right. So here, this is where that tracking again just didn't exist, right?
Yeah.
Like you just didn't even think about the Lee Sin at all. This whole sequence. So if he's done the dragon and we have no camps up on the top side, they'll be respawning, but 99% they're all gone. What would a good jungler be? Like if you're Bel'Veth and you saw this, what would you be thinking about doing right now? Ooh.
Quickly go to my bot side,
Can I maybe steal some of this from the Bel'Veth? I would be doing that. The only downside here would be obviously the Zeds coming back into base. I don't know what the vision is. I don't really know what Bel'Veth's doing, but I think if I've got a way out and I'm in a losing game like this, I'm okay pushing this risk through. Just because I've got the vision, I got the plant, maybe I can steal a red and get out. And if I'm Zyra, I'm taking red and Krugs free. Off I go. Lane gank back around because I know you come in bottom side.
Yeah.
If I'm playing against you right now and I'm the Lee Sin, or just pretend I'm Zyra, I'm doing this, taking this, I'm hippity hopping, I'm taking these things, I'm looping back around, assuming at this point you spent so long here, you should be resetting, coming to the bottom side, realizing I took your shit, you get angry, so you want to gank my bottom lane, which are winning and going to push. Well, in theory, they should be winning and pushing. And I'll just be sitting in the bush waiting to counter gank you. I'll counter gank you, we'll take all the plates, and now I'm winning. So that's what I would have done to correct this mistake. And if you go topside, that's irritating for me because now I'm like, why is Bel'Veth topside? Like I'm annoyed because I want to counter gank you and you're not showing up to play. So I'll just gank your top. I'll gank your bottom lane and do it anyway.
Yeah.
So
I'd think if say, because I'd probably like after that dragon, I'd probably expect him even to have taken my bot side here because it took so long. That was also why I didn't want to push the plates because I was like, okay, all my camps are up. I need to actually get these done with as well. I need to do my shores, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have expected it to be gone. And if I went back and I checked it and I saw it was gone, I would go immediately probably towards his top side, expecting him to be there and ready to fight him. Probably.
Yeah. You can take the aggression to the next level. But I think this is the messiest phase you did. Because you finished this, you decided to go top side.
Yeah.
I don't really think we need to. I think you either continue to sequence down because you feel strong and you want to prevent him taking your shit. Which I think in this case, if you do honestly feel that strong, do it.
Yeah.
But if you feel like, look, he might be taking my red side, I'm just gonna finish my blue side on base and buy Kraken because I don't want to be stupid.
Yeah.
That's fine. Like you acknowledge that you might lose camps, but guess what? When you do that and you come beelining to the bottom lane, if he tries to dive your bottom lane, which most of them will try to do, you're right here with an item.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the exchange you make.
Yeah.
I think that's a better exchange here because sure you went up to the top side here, but you had no idea about the timers. You didn't know anything else. You were just guessing. And I think that's when you do get punished by a better jungler who will take all of this shit, dive your bottom lane while you're here. And that's not what you want.
No.
You know? So that for me is the most important thing I think from the early game. And that's just an extrapolation of the tracking. Obviously at this particular stage, we didn't click, but Gragas is fed from your play.
Yeah.
So Chubby does a good job here. Ooh. So, there you go. Free stuff. And here, you either gank bottom lane and shove hard as hell, or you just cut in and push the mid. I thought she was actually going to stay fighting a little bit longer, and I was kind of hoping she would, so you could actually go and do all of this.
Yeah.
And because you see Lee Sin top side, now you know that these camps will be probably next up, and you can cut through, you can take whatever's available, leave some vision, gank the bottom lane, shove this up. I think that's... If we play the game through from this phase after the grubs, the second grubs, the first grubs, and we play that sequence through, I think you're shitting on 200 LP, 300 LP, 400 LP junglers. Like there's nothing they can do. And I know that because I'm the player against you doing this above Bel'Veth, and I know if you did that to me, I'd be very miserable. So I put myself in that place. That's why I banned Bel'Veth. Because I know if they are good junglers and they do these things against me, I just can't play the game very well. It's very suffocating.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what you want, right? Like you want to become that suffocator. And I hear again a little bit like obviously we're making the best of a situation. You know, we already had a multi-check. Let's go get some more. That's fine. And here, you know, we just watch this playthrough. We see the Milio. You know, the Milio showing up.
Yeah. I should have W'd behind me.
Yeah.
Literally. Or I should.
Yeah,
or literally
exactly.
just pressed E. I think I had E up, so I could have just pressed E and it did as well.
You can also say, look, maybe we don't want to do this, and I just go Scuttle Crab and already got the kill. That's a win. Because remember, him low HP, having to go back to base with nothing else to do, with grubs spawning, I'm okay with that. Because that's what I want. I really want this and this.
Yeah.
So I think objectively, that's the best play.
And I feel like I still very much have the, especially when I'm ahead, I have the like, just let me kill them mentality, you know? Just let me keep on killing. But
which is fine, you know.
But also I would say sometimes I'm actually pretty good at assessing like, okay, killing them here, sure, it's nice gold, right? But it's actually not game winning. Like killing them once again, it's actually not doing more than just keeping up the objectively place here. And I'm pretty good at doing that. But sometimes, you know, you're just in the mood to kill stuff.
Oh no, I get it. Like you gotta enjoy the game, which is why I just let you play it through. I don't, you know, I'm not gonna be like, no, you see, you're so bad. Look at what you're doing. It's like, no, I get it. I would do it too. Like we all would. Like it's a game. We gotta enjoy the fact that we're fed, and you don't always get this fed, so you've got to have fun with it as well. But I think if you're mega smurf tryhard in promos and things like this, that's the kind of stuff you don't do, right?
No, exactly.
That's just, you just don't do it. Back when we had master promos, you and your master promos, you just don't. You say no, stop. Let's just take this. Like he has to go back to base. He's screwed. That's way more valuable than him getting anything, right?
Are there promos getting to monsters?
No, not anymore.
Okay, good. You were about to make this more hopeless. I was hoping. I was saying to myself, okay, I'm 3 or 4 games away from masters right now. And if there were like a 5-game promo, I already remember that how miserable the promo games are. I felt like if I was inted anytime during a climb, it was always there. If I got to 100 LP super easily and the Suda Scout promos, it's 3 straight losses all the time.
That's not to sound like Clint Eastwood, and get off my lawn, but I remember the time would be D1 99 LP with good MMR, and that ended up like 100 people through. So you'd win like 5 games in a row, get +0, +0, +0, because there were too many already. So you didn't even get to go into Masters. You're just being miserable, 0, +0, +0. You have no idea if you're even getting into promos. Painful times.
Yeah.
And most people will complain about it and be like, you know, it was harder back then. Yeah, of course it was, but that doesn't mean it should have been like that. Like, that sounds terrible. That should never be like that.
No, exactly.
It should always be like it is now, yeah.
Yeah, I like the system currently, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's much better. So, I mean, like, this is all good. You push through, you get kills, you take stuff, you trade the dragon again. I mean, I didn't even talk about the dragon because Herald's way more valuable. I do think there's only thing here for this sort of mid-game phase that I would say is just decide which side you really want to push out a lot more. I think here, personally, I definitely lean more to bottom side because I know he took the dragon. So I know he might be shadowing to do something to take this turret to catch up. I have bottom side camps available. I don't really give a crap about the blue. I don't care about the Cassiopeia. I want to go here and take this and activate my Herald and punch. This is my last tier 1. I would really love to kill 2 people while Lee Sin just did a dragon. And most likely we'll fall back to camps and maybe have some gold to spend. He's mid lane. She's top lane. A double kill here plus Herald plus shove is tier 2 if no one responds. Yeah. And if they respond one at a time, you just kill them one at a time. You just keep going. Yeah. And now you can rotate, go back to base. Like you can always sort yourself out then again afterwards. But I think here personally, like this is where my mind 99% of the time goes. Yeah. If that makes sense. I think here you just went a little bit like mindless, not mindless, but just muscle memory. You just kind of went places, right?
Yeah. I kind of just
see this.
Yeah, did some chores.
Yeah, he's vibing a little bit. See her low, she goes back to base. And now we activated top lane here, which is absolutely fine. But as you can see, if you look at the map now, it's not fine at all. It's a terrible decision. The whole team is alive, and your team are all you're extended past vision line, you have no control here or fog of war. Yeah. And this is a lot of the times where I, as Zyra and Karthus junglers and Fiddlesticks junglers who have been taking it to the face for 20 minutes from the Bel'Veth, catch up. Yeah. Over the wall, you're dead. Everything's dead. We win. 5v2. Yeah. They're slow to it. Like, he's just tragically bad. He's nowhere near it. He's holding mid lane by himself. Lucian's coming to base with Cassio. Zed goes back to base. He's not level 11. So, again, you get the benefit of the diamond experience. But trust me, as you get to the better players, this will punish you greatly. Yeah. Greatly. As long as you can see why and understand why, I'm telling you, I would have preferred to kind of punch this out. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah,
for sure.
Because what that does is it compromises the next phase as well. Like, the whole team comes out. Yeah. Senna uses ult. Now you guys are just coin flipping a fight a little bit. Right? It just delays a little bit. This is good from you. This is good from you. You go counter jungling here. I think you could shadow this a little bit more. Yeah. Zed's bottom lane. Like, the whole thing falls apart a little bit because Zed's able to go to the bottom side. If there's no turret, you can't go to the bottom side. Or at the very least, catch this wave here, push it out, you can just collapse and kill him. Yeah. So I think this whole phase here that we're playing through now, like just speed it through, happens because we pushed the wrong side with the Herald. Yeah. We didn't pay attention to what we probably should have been doing in terms of like what's the next step. And because of that, you're nowhere near where your team needs you to be. And I think a lot of times you'll see your team die here without you, and you just have to wait for them to respawn. That's probably what's happening in some of your losses. Like, they just all die, and you're busy doing your chores, as you say, and you're nowhere near a turret to push it and exert pressure. Like, if your whole team got aced here, this would suck. Yeah. And that's why. That's why. It's all extrapolation from the Herald. Yeah. So that's basically my mid-game flow tip. Yeah. And I love that because it's my, outside of the early tracking and part, I think it's my favorite thing is finding that mid-game flow with pushing. That's my Rengar history. Because also like Bel'Veth, goodbye turrets. Yeah. And then I think this is the rest was pretty straightforward though, you know? Yeah. Like you don't coin flip, you just push up slowly. This is nice. Yeah. And you just keep going. Yeah,
just looking for the picks, just
pushing the waves,
pushing the waves, but making it safe as possible. Making sure like my objective here is not to die, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Your objective here is not to die. Yeah. You had your one death. Yeah. You had your one death. It was here, right? I told you that they might be trapping the Baron.
Oh yeah, it was a bit before. A bit
After,
before.
that was after. No.
No, bit
What?
before. Not that far. A little bit more up ahead. It was like when Baron had spawn. There.
Yeah. Ah, there it is. It's the least actually. That's why I was looking for the Casio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is, yeah.
No. This is kind of like the same thing. Like Gragas is resetting. Karma dies. You know, I set Barons on the map here. You just have to respect the fact that no one else is showing.
Exactly, yeah.
At all, and
it's just like I see her on the turret. I'm a bit late, of course, and I feel like, okay, I'm gonna punish you for taking my turret because like limit testing, right? I'm Bel'Veth, I'm strong, I'm 9-0, and I was like, okay, she's not dead off that E. I was like, okay, but like any other champ that's 2 and 4, here would die.
I agree. But the question mark then is still like, is someone trapping me? My whole team's not on the map. Like it's the second time, right? So the first time we got away with it, the second time we did not.
Yeah.
And here for sure, like they could easily look to maybe force a Baron, because from their perspective, Cassio has TP.
Yeah.
And they're strong enough to do this really quickly. And Gragas is bottom side. So they have the numbers advantage. If you're losing a game, like I don't know about you, but like if I'm losing the game and it's looking pretty shit, I really will coin flip this Baron, because right now it's not really a coin flip. We have 4, they have 3. Bel'Veth is dead. She's the most fed member. Let's do this. And if they get the Baron, they kill your team, they get the shutdowns. Now, he's not so good.
Yeah, but, exactly. Yeah, but
they
definitely,
were like,
I agree with like when you're this miserably behind, and there's actually no way of winning this game without the other team losing, if that makes sense. Like they can't win, but the other team can lose.
Yeah.
Like we can lose, they can't win.
Exactly.
Then you have to just go for stuff. Like you've already lost, so just go for stuff. Like, and if it works out, then congrats.
And it wasn't even a bad play, you know, because they, as I said, had 4 coming up with TP advantage from Cassie, who could reset and come back in, and you were dead. Most importantly, it's not like you were alive.
No, exactly.
And there's a Karthus or something like that, and a Nivea's going to trap them. You know, it was really a free bait, I think.
Yeah, and I'm gonna honestly say I have probably like I don't know how many Barons I've lost dying like at 20 minutes, and they just coin flip, take it, and all of a sudden the game becomes hard again.
Yeah,
it has happened a lot of times.
Yeah,
I can
me
tell
too.
you that much.
Yeah, me too. It does happen a lot more than we want, but as you can see, it's usually just a little bit of a lapse in mental judgment. Like, hey, I'm gonna make a pick. We're allowed to make picks, but I think the big thing I say for players in this range is I say you're allowed one mistake.
Yeah.
And you made yours on the top lane death. And I do think you still would have won the game.
Yeah.
But I also think a little bit the Herald top lane, just because you didn't die doesn't look like a mistake, but I think is a mistake. And you were lucky not to die there. So if you died on that Herald and then you die top lane on the Baron, I think you might lose the game. Yeah. Just because of the way their comp works, and as you say, with Emilio and a Cassio and having the lacing kick, that's a tough team fight for you. So you're going to be splitting, trusting your team to not int. Now you've taken Karma's and Lulu's purpose away from them, which is to keep you alive. Yeah. While Senna's fed, we all know a Zed against a Senna is kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's a little of somebody else.
Senna is squishy. She's extremely squishy. So yeah.
I think that's I think that would be the most important thing for like why maybe you don't win games where you have like 20 kills, 10 kills, 15 kills. Yeah. And some of the other games that I see there was some bad KDA's early losses. It's just because I think we don't think enough about tracking, extrapolation, and ultimately just suppression, absolute suppression, right, of the enemy jungler. And you did everything right, and he could do nothing about it. But what if you're against a Master jungler? I think he finds holes in the way you were playing, and he's able to at least stay in touching distance. And as soon as you make that mistake, or you overcommit, now it's an equal game, and that's not, as you said, that's not what we want as Bel'Veth. We want to be ahead always. So
always, because you're almost always available too, or like your champion is just so strong that you can always be ahead if you just don't do mistakes.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So the Bel'Veth enjoyer for sure.
You know, as I said, I don't actually have. I have my personal fun with like I hate Jake, I hate Bel'Veth, but I like good juggling more than anything, and I don't really care what people.